Hey, Khushi, are you able to hear me?
Hello, hello. It's been a hot minute since we've done this last.
It has. It feels so weird considering the fact that it's been a couple of months and we made a break. It literally feels like yesterday we did our last webinar.
I know, time flies. That's all they
It
say.
does.
True. It's very true.
It does. All right. So for everyone that's joining, we always give a couple of minutes at the beginning of these webinars because we have quite a bit of people that have registered for the call, and it's great to see everyone. And we're always so happy when we see so many people registering for these webinars. It really means a lot to us. We can get feedback from you guys. We can show you what we're working on. So this is really great. So we're gonna give another couple of minutes. You guys will get to watch me and Khushi just chill here and,
Waiting
and
the next
chat randomly.
conversation. I
Yeah.
always love doing this at the start of every call, but let us know what the weather is like wherever you are. Because right now here, it's pouring and it's not really, I mean, it's cozy weather. It doesn't feel like summer, but I want to
You see,
know what it's like.
that's why
Oh,
I
you
got
like
my
this?
big teacup.
Oh, wow.
I'm feeling cozy.
I right now. I would kill for a cup of tea right now.
Mm.
What's the weather like in Belgrade, Cat?
Uh, well, considering the fact that it keeps changing, and today there's been like four different seasons all day long. At this point, I'm not really sure which one it is outside. I haven't checked in the last half an hour. Maybe it's winter, maybe it's summer. I'm not really sure.
Better than
But
the heat
uh,
wave that we
yeah,
had when we were visiting during our team bonding. Oh God,
yes, yes,
that
that
was
heat wave.
something else.
That was an experience.
That was quite the
That, w- that
experience.
was an experience. Yeah, yeah. But you know what? At least we had great weather for everything that we needed to do.
Yeah, no, it was a wonderful time. The weather was just a cherry on top,
Yeah,
but you
exactly,
know, still good times.
exactly. All right, we
We
still have we still have people joining. So we're gonna give another minute or so, and then we're gonna get started. I mean, the webinar is recorded, so I don't think it's that big of a deal if we get started before everyone joins. Um, We also know for a fact that there's going to be a few attendees that won't be able to make it, but we're asking us if we're going to be recording this. So we will. So there will be a recording for everyone, even if they weren't able to attend. But we do encourage everyone to attend because they get to ask questions and talk to us during these webinars after a presentation.
also have another one in 2 weeks, so we'll also be
Yes,
doing a lot
same
more
topic.
people then,
Yeah,
which is always fun. So
yeah. All right, so we still have people joining, but I think we can get started because we have quite a bit to talk about. So I don't want to waste too much time. Um, especially for everyone on the call. So, um, just give me one moment, please. I do apologize. All right. So, first, well, welcome everyone who has joined and who's joining. My name is Kat. I work in support here at Navigation Tracker, and that's Khushi. She's in marketing.
Cat's co-host here, her
Yep.
sidekick for
Yes.
office hours. So yeah.
I gotta have a partner in crime. All right, so we take you guys through these office hours episodes. If you're here for the first time, I'm just gonna give a little bit of an intro of how we do this. If you've been here before, you already know how it goes. But this office hours episode and the next one is actually gonna be a little bit different from the others because we're actually talking about the new releases, the new features, and we're talking about how these features work and any upcoming features as well for until the end of 2023 that we're hoping to release, or at least to have in beta testing by the end of the year. Because it's such a large topic and we knew that so many people are going to be interested in the topic itself, we decided to actually create two events. And that's why you guys probably saw that we had two different dates so that we can allow people to register and join. We do have to have a limit on these calls because of the questions in the Q&A section. A little bit about the office hours, the actual platform that we're using. So a couple of things to just keep in mind. You aren't able to speak, but you can definitely write out your questions in the Q&A section that you can see on the left-hand side at the top. So you have a little Q&A section. You can write your questions there, your comments, and we're going to be going through those Q&A questions after my presentation of everything that we need to talk about today. And I'm going to try my best to answer everyone's questions because she's going to be writing them out. And if there's anything that we need to follow up with after, we're definitely going to do that via email or maybe even a call if it's necessary. We also have a few polls, just 2-3 questions that we're going to be allowing at one point throughout the call, and you guys can answer those polls just to let us know basically about the features that you were more interested in, about what you would like us to cover at the next call, and so forth. And we also have for these specific two calls, we actually have a survey that's going to go out along with the recording after the webinar. We may even send the link during the Q&A section in the actual comments. This survey will be great for anyone who wants to give us feedback on the features we're going to talk about, right? Like additional feedback on the features we're going to talk about right now, on the processes, and if anyone wants to book a call with us specifically, this would either be a call that I would be joining, or even our CTO, Slobo, actually may be leading these calls and talking to the companies to have a better understanding of how you do these things currently within the company. These regarding these features that we're going to be introducing. So
Kat
that's
mentioned also a quick side
go
note: the
ahead.
first poll is live, so feel free to go let us know your thoughts there. Yeah,
Thank
but go
you.
ahead. It was just a
Thank you.
side little
No
note.
worries. All right. So when it comes down to the topics and what we're going to start off with first, there may be a couple of things that you have already noticed that we released. So please count the first two topics we're talking about are actually features that we've released in the last couple of weeks. They're kind of new, but you may have received a reminder. For example, if you're an approver, you may have received a reminder about a leave request needs to be approved, or maybe if you received a message from us about an out of office message that you can set up. So you may have already seen bits and pieces of these features, but we're going to talk about them in a little bit more detail today. So I'm gonna start with the screen share right away, because all of this is actually being done within the online dashboard. One thing I do want to note is I'm going to be using our demo account for our Slack integration, but please keep in mind in this case it really won't matter when it comes down to which integration I'm using, because everything we're talking about, reminders, out of office, upcoming features, the new accrual improvements, all of the integrations have these new features. They may just slightly look different in the context that if you're in the Slack integration, you're receiving them via the bot. If you're in Teams, you're receiving them via bot. If you're using Google or email only, you're receiving them via email. So that's really the only difference. So we're going to be going through that. I'm sharing my screen. You guys let me know if you're able to see it. Just throw a like under the emojis there, and we're gonna see if we can go ahead. All right, wonderful.
Oh, awesome.
I love these emojis. Okay,
Oh my
so
God, they're so cute. I need to keep sending them throughout our session. I
all
love that.
right.
So powerful.
Okay, so regarding the reminder, this is something that's actually been requested for quite a while, for the past year or two from quite a bit of companies, and it's reminders. And what are reminders? Reminders are for approvers, and they're basically sent out by our system to remind the approvers to actually respond to the requests. So we've set up three reminders that are sent out. After the third reminder, of course, the request needs to either be responded to, or it may actually expire. So one thing that I do want to mention when it comes down to the reminders is, again, approvers are going to be receiving these. They're going to be receiving them either via the Slack bot, Microsoft Teams bot, or the email, or email if you're using Google, or email only. And this is an example of what a reminder looks like. So first things first, when do these reminders arrive? So the first reminder is going to arrive the day after the request has been sent. So you're going to receive your request from your users. If you don't respond within 24 hours, we're sending you the first reminder. The second reminder, if the second reminder is going to be sent 3 days after the request. So it's going to be on the third business day after the request has originally been sent. The third reminder is going to be on the fifth day. You're going to be receiving a reminder then, and then you're going to have the final reminder on the seventh business day after the requested leave. For this kind of final reminder, letting you know that you need to respond, or within a couple of business days of this final reminder, the request is going to expire. So because of this new flow, we've actually also changed our expire rules for these requests. So our rules used to be slightly different when it came down to leave requests expiring. Maybe some of you know, but it used to be that we would leave a pending request, especially if it's far in advance. For example, a user may be requesting in January for July. We may leave it open for about 3 months as a pending request. Now those rules have changed. So besides the reminders, we've set up, we've kept up one of the expiration rules. The first expiration rule is that once the three reminders are set and you have not responded within that kind of 10 business day mark that we've set, the request is going to expire. And if it expires, the user is going to receive a notification from us letting them know that their request is expired, and they can resend that request. The approver will, of course, see the same message without being able to resend it, because the user has to resend the request if they'd like to do that. The other rule for the expire is something that has already existed in Vacation Tracker, and that's basically if the end date of the request has passed. So if I request my leave for tomorrow, August 31st, and no one replies by the end of day, August 31st, it's going to expire on the 1st of September. So these are the changes that we've kind of made with the expiration along with these reminders. The reminders are there to ensure that the approvers respond back on time, and that they don't forget about the leave. Now, when it comes down to those kinds of specific rules with the reminders, I do want to mention a couple of things that you may have questions about. So, um, if the leave request is auto approved, there's going to be no reminder sent. I think this is pretty logical, but if someone may just have a question regarding the auto approval, the reminders are going to be sent according to the approver's working days. So some companies have different working days and different working weeks. When we say business days, we're counting on the approver's business days. So whatever that approver has as their working days on their profile, and that's what we're looking into. If there's multiple approvers within the department and they're both receiving these reminders, what's going to happen is the expiration for the last reminder, if no one's responding, none of the approvers are responding, the expiration is going to be, again, after the third reminder, but it's going to be watching whoever the first approver is. So whoever the first approver with their upcoming working day is, that's when the third reminder is going to be expiring as well. It's going to be watching the working days of that approver. So if there's multiple approvers, we're watching the working days of the first one, the first upcoming business day. Again, that might be slightly confusing, but if you have additional questions about it, I'll be happy to explain in more details. And then when it comes down to any leave requests that have an end date in the past, so users may be requesting dates in the past. If you're allowing this is something that you would have to allow as an admin in the settings for the leave policy. But if the users can request leaves in the past, we're going to follow the same flow of reminders, just how we would for any other leave. So we would still be sending out the reminders, three reminders, and after 10 business days, the leave would expire if it doesn't get responded to. So those are some of the rules when it comes down to the reminders itself. Again, this was something that was highly requested by a lot of companies. We introduced it because we understand that approvers can get busy and they can forget about these requests. So now it's significantly easier for them to be reminded, not have to go into the dashboard and review if they have any pending requests. Okay. So when it comes down to the reminders, and again, just a really quick overview, although you guys would have seen it while I was talking on the screen itself. This is an example of the reminder. Again, it looks very similar across the different integrations. The text is the same. It's just depending on where you receive the reminder. You're, of course, able to respond to the request as it is. We do let you know when the leave request is going to expire. We let you know how many reminders you've received so far. And you are able to snooze. Keep in mind, if you do snooze this reminder, it's going to snooze it just for that request. It's not going to snooze it for all the upcoming requests. But as an approver, you can snooze for that request, and you won't get reminders anymore for that response. We don't think that's going to probably be done often, unless it for some reason it needs to stay open until it expires, but we still offered it as an option if necessary. Now, the next released feature that's kind of a big deal that we released recently is the out of office auto response. So within Vacation Tracker, there's already a feature called Personal Calendar Connection. For those of you who maybe maybe you didn't notice it, maybe you didn't receive, you didn't see our notifications about the new feature, I just want to quickly mention it because you're going to see it on the under these account settings. So we have the option to now connect the personal calendar of the user to vacation tracker, and the new feature configuring the automatic out of office reply. Both of these options can be found under the account settings for each user. And both of these features are features that a user must set for themselves. So an admin cannot set these for the user themselves. The user has to go into the dashboard and turn this on for themselves. They have to accept the permissions because we're connecting to their personal calendar, and it's a little bit different. You may have seen the out of office message that would have come in to some of you, because when we turned it on, the out of office messages did get sent out to anyone who may have sent out a request. The out of office message does come in asking you basically if you want to turn on the automatic reply once you're actually on the leave. And an example of an out of office message reminder, actually a notification, better yet, is right here. So again, the text is going to be the same all across different integrations, and it basically lets you know that the leave that you scheduled is about to begin within 1 day, and it asks you if you want to set an automatic out of office message to be sent during the time that you're going to be away. So to clarify a little bit about the out of office, if it's not clear already what it is, it basically is an option that connects, again, vacation tracker with your email provider, whether you're using Outlook or whether you're using Google, and it allows you to set an out of office reply for your approved leave. So it works just like auto reply within your actual email. Instead of you going into your email and actually setting this manually yourself, you can actually now do it through vacation tracker. So you're cutting down the steps of having to do this. Currently, we offer Gmail and Outlook. Those are the two email providers that we offer to connect with. We may offer more, but we would have to get some requests for that, and you are actually able to request that through this feature as well, if need be. Everyone is going to receive these reminders from our bot, even if the automatic out of office option is turned off. You're always going to get a message letting you know, hey, do you want to schedule your out of office? And then you have the option to either use the template that we have set for you here, or you have the option to actually edit this template and write your own message. Now, if you haven't connected your out of office, the vacation tracker out of office feature with your calendar, you can definitely do that even when you're clicking on set out of office or edit template. Once you actually do that, you would be taken, I apologize, give me a moment. You would be taken to your actual account where you're able to edit this information. And so if you click on either edit or set out of office, you'll be taken into the online dashboard where you can make any changes if you'd like to, and then click on set out of office message. Now, once you do this, there's two things that could happen. If you have played around with your account and maybe already turned on at one point the out of office reply ever since we released the feature, you may have already given permissions. If you have not done so, once you click on set out of office message or edit out of office message, we're going to take you to the dashboard to edit the message, but also to give permissions to connect over to the email platform that you would like to use. Once the option is enabled, you will also have the option to take a look at the different leave types that you want us to send you reminders for to set the out of office message for. So maybe you don't want some of these to have an automatic response. You can just remove those leave types from the list, and we will only be sending you the messages for the leave types you're interested in. And again, basically what would happen with this configuration right now means that as soon as my leave starts on August 31st, which is tomorrow, I'm going to have an automated message that's going to be sent out via email to anyone who emails me. It's going to be a response. And this goes for both for Google and for Outlook. One additional note I would mention here is for the Microsoft Teams users. So Microsoft Teams, as you guys may know, whoever's using Microsoft Teams is connected. Their out of office setting in their out of office message is actually connected to Microsoft Teams as well and to the statuses. So if you do set this message, it actually will you will be able to actually have it shown in Microsoft Teams as well, and you'll be able to edit it. You'll be able to choose if you're sending this message just to your colleagues or to people outside of your organization. And this is something that you can edit within Microsoft Teams itself. It's not something that you would be setting with us, but it will be something you will be setting within the application itself. Now, I'm talking about all of this because we're just doing a quick overview, but please keep in mind for everything that we mentioned on this call today regarding the existing features, we have help desk articles. We've created quite a bit of them, broken them down quite a bit, and explained how this can be set up, answered some of these questions that we're talking about right now, and of course, put step by steps on how you can do all of this. But of course, we're also going to go through maybe some of the questions that you may have during this time. So, when it comes down to the out of office, there's a couple of things that I would like to note. When you set your out of office message, you can't per se go into a vacation tracker and edit the message. The message is going to be set and it's going to be sent out once the leave starts. However, once the leave starts, which would be for in this case, in this example, August 31st, if you go into your Outlook or your Google or your Gmail, if you go into the settings for your Gmail and you go into the settings for the auto reply, you will actually see our message embedded there, and you can make a change or you can turn it off if something happened and you want to turn off the message. So you're able to do that. There's a couple of things I do want to mention. If you're canceling a leave, I apologize, you guys, too much talking. Mm. If you're canceling a leave, and you have canceled, if you cancel a leave within vacation tracker, the message won't be sent, of course, and the status won't be set, and it shouldn't be set because you've canceled your leave. And of course, we've recognized that, and we would remove that message and that out of office reply from your email. It won't get sent out. The same thing goes with the personal calendar. If you cancel a leave within vacation tracker, we're going to remove that booking from your personal calendar, but it's a one-way connection, so please keep that in mind. So if you're booking or you're canceling, make sure you're doing it always through vacation tracker, even if you've connected to your personal calendar using this connection. And again, just a really quick note, users can only set this for themselves. So admins can't set these settings for them because of the permissions that we have to ask for. It's not something that we can unfortunately change at this time. I believe that when it comes down to these two features, we've gone through everything that I wouldn't go into too much detail. Again, the help desk articles have quite a bit of detail of how you can set all of this up. This is more of an overview, so you guys understand why we're introducing these features and how they work, and so you can ask some questions during this call. So I'm going to move on to the other improvements that we've introduced. These were the two features. Actually, I mentioned the personal calendar, so I guess three features. But now we've also introduced a couple of improvements, and this is specifically for accruals. So whoever may have the complete plan and is using the accrual feature, this is where this is something you may be interested in. So I want to talk about that as well because there's been quite a bit of requests regarding these two improvements as well. So for anyone who uses accruals inside a vacation tracker, you know that you're able to set it in the leave policies for the location, and you're able to set different settings, whether it's monthly, biweekly, semi-monthly, and so I'm not going to go into too much detail for that because you guys probably are aware of that. That being said, there was a couple of things that we were requested to do quite a bit. One of them was the option to actually allow users to earn their accrued amount ahead of time. So what does that mean? Instead of, for example, working from August 1st to August 31st and then earning my accrued days on September 1st, I am actually able to earn them at the beginning of that month. So some companies are willing to give those days up front. As you guys may already know, accruals work on the basis that you have to work the period of time and then you receive your earned amount. Some companies have decided to change that rule up a little bit internally, and they've decided to actually give those days and that earning up front. So this is something that we've introduced now as a change. You may need us to help you out with this setting, to change it if you are one of those companies that wants to change of when the user is going to earn. Some companies will not, of course, allow this, and they're going to go the traditional way with accruals. But this is one of those improvements that have been highly requested. The second improvement that was highly requested when it comes down to the accruals is allowing the accrual-based leave to be requested in advance by users. So what does this mean? Basically, if I am requesting, let's say that I'm going to make this a little bit simpler. So let's say that I'm earning 12 days for the year, 1 day a month. And I want to book in January, I want to book my leave for July, and I want to book my vacation days in July. And I know that I'm going to earn 5, 6 days by July anyways, and I can actually book that time off. We're now allowing users, if you click this option off, you're allowing users to book that time ahead in advance, and you're in January, they're able to book whatever they're going to accrue by the date that they're requesting. So they're able to book in advance. The reason why this feature is so important here is because it's not tied to the negative balance at all. So they're completely independent from each other. The workaround for this feature has been the option to allow negative balance, but we heard a lot of you loud and clear. And it's been a little bit inconvenient because the allow negative balance allows these users to go over the amount they have, the total amounts. They could have gone over 12 days as much as they wanted to. That's the whole point of the allow negative balance. So this is specific for accruals, and it's specific for companies that have wanted to kind of put a block, but still allow their employees to book their leave in advance. So we completely understand that. So that's the second improvement that we introduced for the accruals that has been quite highly requested. So again, if you have any questions regarding this, definitely post them there. And if you have any feedback regarding these two improvements, if you're using accruals as well, let us know. You'll be able to find all this information either by reaching out to us via chat or by email, or going into our help desk as well. If you have anything that you want to set up or to make a change when it comes down to the accruals. So we've gone through the releases, we've gone through the improvements. The next point is going to be the upcoming features, which I think that a lot of people probably joined for. Until the end of 2023, we're currently working on 3 features. One of them is something that I'm not even sure what we're going to name, because so many different companies in all different countries have a different name for it. So it's going to be entertaining to figure this out. We may have to do like an info bubble with all the different names and
If you
just
have any
clarify it.
recommendations, drop them in the chat.
Yeah, yeah.
We need all the help that.
If you have any new names, we'll just add it to the list. So the feature is basically the automated toil option, aka time off in lieu, aka comp time, aka whatever else it may be named as. So basically, right now in Vacation Tracker, you can do what you can do in most systems. You can create a leave type called time off in lieu. A lot of companies are using this option. They create a leave type called time off in lieu or comp time, and so they set up the quota at 0, and they allow their employees that to basically send a message if they worked any type of overtime. Maybe they worked during a holiday, maybe they worked during the weekend, and then the users would let the admins know, and their quota for that specific leave type would get updated by the admin so that the users can use them. There was other workarounds with the same kind of idea, where you would basically, or some companies that would set it up a little bit differently, where you would basically again have a leave type called time off in lieu, allow negative balance for it, set it at 0 quota, and then allow users to apply for that leave just so that you can track how much time they've worked over time. And then the admins will go into their actual PTO and add those days to kind of match the two. So this is a little bit more manual work. What we want to do and what our goal is to make as much of Vacation Tracker as we can automated. And so we're making an automated comp time toll feature, where basically the users will be requesting the the comp time or the time off in lieu, just like they would be requesting a leave. So the same way that you're able to send out a request leave as a user, you will have an option that, again, we're going through with the names, we're building out the actual feature right now, so we're not really focused on the language, but you're going to have an additional option that maybe says something like add time over time worked or something like that, where the user will be able to say, okay, well, I would like to add the days to this specific leave type. I've worked this much or this many days or this weekend or this date. And then they would maybe even be able to write a reason. For example, I had to work this time because of this and that, and give a message to their managers and send out that request. And then the approver would receive a request, just like how they receive a request for a leave, for these days or these hours to be added to the quota of this leave type based on the overtime worked. So this is the option. This is the idea we're going with right now, and we're building right now. A lot of the companies that we've spoken to already regarding this feature have agreed this is a great way to add this time. And it's going to save them a lot of time because the users can do it themselves, and it's going to add it on, and the managers can just approve it. So a lot of people seem to be very satisfied with it. But again, if you are one of those people that uses comp time, time off in lieu, definitely give us some feedback now. And the survey that we're going to send out has some questions regarding this too. So definitely fill out the survey, especially if you want to maybe get on a call with our CTO and discuss this feature and the upcoming features as well. So this is something to keep in mind. So this is the idea of the toil comp time. Many names after that. The next feature that we're also working on is seniority-based earning. Also a feature that we're
Very
probably
complicated.
gonna figure we're gonna figure out how we're gonna call. I think this is kind of where we're at right now. But seniority based earning is basically for companies that have a rule that depending on how much you've worked in the company, your quota is going to increase. So for example, if I've worked in the company for 5 years and I started off with 10 days of quota, at year 5 I'm going to increase up to 15 days. At year 10 I'm going to increase up to 20 days, and then maybe there's a cap. Maybe there isn't. Maybe I'm lucky enough and I just keep um get like I'm like
Keep referring.
150 years old and just keep accruing. Yeah. But actually, now that I think about it, doesn't.
The goal of 365. That's the agenda there.
Yeah, yeah. But this is the general rule with the accrual and this kind of seniority based earning, which basically means how long you've worked in the company. That's how much you additionally earn based on the quota that you started with. So we want to create what we're working on right now is creating basically a system where it's a rule, it's an automated rule, and admins can set up a rule that say, okay, well, from the user's employment date, if they worked here for 5 years, this is how much they should additionally earn. Now, there is a couple of questions that we have here, and it would be great that if you're one of the companies that's interested in this feature, to let us know in the survey maybe, or even through the messages here or via email or via chat, however you'd like. There is a couple of questions that we're asking some of the companies. Some of the companies have already answered us. But again, the questions specifically for the seniority-based earning are some companies have stated that this needs to be prorated because they reset their quota based on accounting year. And so if the user receives additional days on their user employment date, which would completely make sense because that's their anniversary, we need to prorate from the user employment date all the way until the end of the year. They won't actually get their full 5 days on the date of their anniversary, but they're going to get whatever is a prorated amount until the end of the year. And then in the following year, of course, they would have the new quota in full. So this is something that some companies have given us feedback for. And another piece that some companies have given us feedback for when it comes down to seniority based earning, it's the prorate option. And then for some companies that actually have been using the workaround of resetting the quota for the users themselves on profile pages inside of the dashboard, have requested that we recognize or have a workaround of how they can introduce this feature once we actually release it. So for existing companies, not for new companies, that have maybe gone onto the user's profile page and edited their quota based on how much that user should have, and maybe it's different than the other employees. They're basically asking, is there going to be something where you're going to be able to recognize that we've already edited this quota in the past or something like that? And that's again something that we're looking into. And so again, if you one of those companies that have already edited the quota inside of Vacation Tracker for every single user and you're kind of tracking this manually by yourself, definitely let us know, and let us know if you have any other feedback when it comes down to this specific feature. The third and final feature, these are the larger features we're releasing. We may release a couple of smaller ones, but that's still something that's being discussed. So the third and final feature is the blackout period. Again, highly requested feature by a lot of companies. It basically means that you're blocking out a period within the calendar where users cannot request a leave. And the blackout period means that maybe the company is having, it's some sort of high season and you're not able to request leave during this time. We completely understand that. We have a lot of companies from a lot of different industries that have this request. So this is also a feature that we're releasing. The blackout period option will allow the users to still push out the request. Even if it's a blackout period, the user will be notified, and then the request will be pushed out. If they'd like to still to still send out the request to their approval, they'll just be warned, and they'll have the option to send out the request no matter what. And I mean, these cases can happen. It can be maybe sick leave or something like that that they have to, of course, apply for even during the blackout period. So we understand that. So that's the third and final feature that we expect to be releasing by the end of the year. There may be a few improvements here and there. You guys know that we always release some improvements here and there with the vacation tracker. So there may be some that we will release along with these ones, but these are kind of the biggest features and ones that we want to talk about, especially if there's questions, especially if there's feedback, and we want to talk about the ones we've released already so far, because I think that it's really, really good to get some feedback right away, so maybe we can make some additional improvements as well. That's basically it when it comes down to my longer presentation than usual. And I apologize, you guys, but we had a lot to talk about. One thing that I'm just going to really quickly do is in the Q&A section. Let me see if I can actually add this link. I'm gonna add a link already in the QA section. Maybe I can do this. Um, I think I can. All right, hopefully. So I've added the survey already in the Q&A section for anyone who wants to open it right now, but you're going to receive the link anyways with the recording of the webinar at the end of the call. Feel free to go through that survey, especially if you're interested in any of these features, you want to give feedback and you want to book a call with our CTO to discuss further. So, and of course, please, 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 all the polls that we've opened up, I think we've opened up all of them at this point. We're opening them up now. Um, yeah, we're opening them up now. Thank you, Khushi. So any of the polls as well, they're going to be really useful for us because they're also related to the conversation that we've had so far. So please go ahead and go to the polls on the right-hand side of the Q&A section and answer those questions as well. Okay, so Khushi, I'm ready.
Perfect. Okay, now it's time to fire up all the Q&A questions we have going on in our chat. I'll start with the oldest one. So Stephen says, how do I make a leave request in the past? That is for a vacation or personal day that was already taken.
So this is and again, Stephen, I'm not sure if you're an admin or an approver. If you are just an approver, it's not something that you would be able to allow. So you'd have to reach out to your admins for this. But this is something that the admins can allow under the leave policies, under the leave policy section, under the locations. So they would have to enable the edit and request leaves in the past option. If this option is enabled, you can then request a leave in the past, just how you would request any leave in the past, any leave anyways, but just selecting a date in the past. Now, if this option isn't enabled for you, you're going to see it grayed out this way for the past. If the option is enabled for you, it's not going to be grayed out. You'll be able to select any date. And you have these steps also in our help desk. So if you need anything additional from there, you can definitely find the answer on our help desk as well.
Perfect. So the next question is from Maria. She says, how do you edit the automatic reply template, please?
The automatic reply template, I'm assuming we're referring to the out of office template. The way that you're actually going to do that is when you receive our notification regarding the out of office message, this is what it's going to look like. You're going to have the option to just set the template here that we've already given, or you're going to have the option to edit template. Once you click on edit template, it should take you to the dashboard where you're either logged in or you're going to log in, and then you'll be able to edit the template there. And then you would just edit the message and you would click save, set, and that would be it. So you can definitely you can definitely edit the template there. If you want to change anything after that, you would have to. There's not an option to change after you've already edited and set it until the event happens. So until um, uh, the actual request starts that day, of course, you'll be able to see it inside of your settings of your email provider, whether that's Gmail or whether that's Outlook. You will be able to see that message in there, and you'll be able to make additional changes if you'd like.
Right. So the next question's from Ryan. He says, "Can the message dynamically set the date when you are scheduled to return, so this doesn't need to be modified every time you're away?"
Hi Ryan, thank you for joining. I think we're having a call tomorrow. I believe that's the same Ryan.
And you
I'm glad we're multiple calls. Okay, so the message dynamically set. So I just want to make sure I understand
he
this well.
basically is
So
asking if the message can dynamically set the date when he's scheduled to return, so that he doesn't need to manually change that every time he goes on vacation.
well, it's going to anyways be tied to your date of leave. Now I may be the one that's getting too confused here, but and so I apologize, you guys. It's been a long day, and apparently I need to switch my chamomile tea with black tea. But if you're referring to the message being turned off as soon as the end date happens, then that's going to happen. But um if you're referring to making any type of modifications that you're away, I'm not sure. I need a little bit more clarification for that specific question. Sorry, Ryan. Um, I'm not
You
sure if
can put it on your call tomorrow
yeah,
if it's a Ryan.
yeah, if it's true, if I'm being too confused, we can discuss it. Yeah, but also if you can just reword it in the Q&A section, I can also go through it. Um if you're referring to the fact that that it needs to kind of watch your end date, the message is only going to last the actual dates that you have requested. So the moment you come back, the message should be turned off that automatically. That's how it should work. If that's what you're referring to. If you're referring to some sort of other modifications, let me know, please. Will Slack have an auto response too? Unfortunately, Slack does not have that integration. We did look into it, but unfortunately, they don't have that integration, that connection currently that Microsoft Teams offers. So unfortunately, no, not an option yet in Slack. But we will keep our eye out on anything like that that will be able to connect. If it makes
Perfect.
you feel any better for all you Slack users, you guys have Slack statuses, and and that's something that's different from Microsoft Teams. So there's a little bit of something for everyone.
Perfect. So the next question's from Lena. She says, "Might be a silly question. There's no such thing as a silly question here, Lena. All of them are encouraged. Will the auto reply on Outlook be visible to those people who are not on Slack?"
So the auto reply is going to be visible. Yeah, I mean, listen, when it comes down to setting up the auto reply, it's going to be tied to your actual email. So anyone who emails you, the auto reply, the out of office message is going to be a response through that email provider. So even if you're using Slack, we're not really quite connected to your Slack. There's not going to be an auto message that goes through Slack, unfortunately. Slack is just not offering that type of integration at this time. Again, definitely going to watch out for something like that. So it basically, if you're using Slack and you're connecting an out of office auto reply to Outlook, anyone who emails you is going to receive this response, but not people who message you via Slack. However, if you're using Slack, you can definitely set our Slack status, and the Slack status can be set with the emoji and the status. You guys probably already know about this, but if you're on leave and you're using the Slack integration, as long as of course the admins have allowed this option, you're able to have an automated Slack status with an emoji that will show. So that is something that's a little bit different. And again, there are slight differences between these integrations when it comes down to these auto replies. But via email, anyone who emails you is going to receive the response, just how you would set an auto response for any vacation that you may take.
Awesome. Next question's by Matt. He says, "Can you customize max days employees' time off per employee?"
Can you customize max days employees time off per employee? I'm assuming they were referring to the max days they can request in one moment, and this is not something that we have available yet. It has been requested, not too intensely. If I'm referring to the same thing, and this is something, this is what I'm referring to. I'm referring to basically users requesting a leave, and you saying, hey, you can only request 7 days at a time, 7 business days at a time, or 10 business days at a time. Again, something that we have been requested, and definitely something that we want to maybe introduce in the future. Just not any time, just not this year. Maybe 2024. So it is on our discussion point for sure. If that's what Matt, what you were referring to. The feature, by the way, I can already see, because it's Matt as well. So I'm just gonna go to it. The feature for 24-hour time versus military time. Yes. This is something that, or I'm assuming that you're referring to the AM PM versus military time. So this is also on the roadmap, preferably for next year, but we are going to introduce as an improvement to allow people to choose whether they want to do AM PM or if they want to do 24-hour time.
Perfect. Next question's by Andre. She says, "Will we be able to access this call when it's completed?"
I'm assuming you're talking about the recording. The recording is going to be sent to everyone, after it's after the call. It may take a little bit of time for the recording to be processed through Zoho, but you should receive an email and a link, and as soon as it's processed, you'll be able to open it up and see the webinar. And you can actually catch all of our webinars, by the way, on our office hours page. It's at the footer of our vacationtracker.io webpage. So you can access any of the old episodes as well, and any of the upcoming ones.
Awesome. So next question again by Maria. A couple of comments, not questions. My bad. She says, "Yeah, annual entitlement increases based on years of service and prorated would be great. Thanks." A thumbs
Thank
up
you.
for blackout periods as well. Awesome.
Great,
Thank you,
great.
Maria.
Maria's very happy.
We love
We're introducing
people.
everything they need. Yeah, okay. So prorated makes sense, and we think it does make sense. It's absolutely logical, especially for people who have the accounting year, versus the user employment date. So it completely makes sense. It's just that we wanted to make sure that this makes sense for everyone, right? And that we're satisfying. If we have to make some sort of changes where it has to be an additional setting, we should probably know that too, so we can make it more customizable. But I think everyone's going to want prorated if it's based on accounting year. So yeah, that makes sense, and happy to introduce blackout period.
Next up, we have another question by Anton, very similar to Stephen's. He asks, "How do you enable ability for users to request time off for vacations they've already taken?"
So I showed that, Anton. I hope you saw it. If you didn't, you can definitely, by the way, find these steps on our help desk articles by just searching maybe even for a keyword past, and it's going to pop up where you're able to enable, the setting for allowing requests to be sent in the past. But again, under the location, under leave policies, under the setting for each leave policy, you can choose if you want to allow this specific leave type, and allow users to request leaves in the past for this specific leave type, and of course to edit any of their requests as well, in the past as well. Please keep in mind, even both editing and requesting in the past will still go through the same process of request approval, the way that a leave for the future will as well. That doesn't change.
Perfect. Next question by Alvin. He says, "Is there an update on having a note feature where you can leave notes under each user?"
So
Thanks.
there's a slight update. We've discussed it. We just haven't had an official meeting just for that. We do want to talk about it, because we've over the past couple of months we've collected some additional feedback regarding this, because different companies are wanting the note section in different areas for different things on the user profile page, and so we're trying to think about how we're going to do this to basically satisfy everyone's needs. We may even be reaching out to everyone who's tagged with this feature. I believe, Alvin, you already are, because we've already spoken about this. But we may be reaching out additionally just to get a little bit more clarification to see how we can introduce this. As you guys already know, when it comes on the vacation tracker and introducing new features, we try our best to introduce everything, in a customizable way, because we work with so many different industries and with companies in so many different countries. We have to be able to satisfy all different kinds of rules. So this I know it seems so simple, but it doesn't change. It can be quite a different request across the board, even though it's a small feature. So definitely in talks. We're definitely talking about it. We hope maybe 2024. I mean, ideally, but we just have to figure out how we're gonna do this the right way.
Perfect. Next question again by Ryan. He says the blackout period is great, but any idea when we can do capacity management via vacation tracker? We'd like to limit how many people are taking a day off.
Yeah. So this option is on the roadmap, ideally for next year. It's going to be part of, and I do want to. This is something I want to mention for the upcoming features as well. All the features that I've talked about, and I believe blackout period is also included in that. Now that I'm thinking about it, I may have double checked, but I believe it is. Blackout period, seniority based earning, time off in lieu, aka comp time, aka all the many names, and this feature as well with make putting a cap on how many people can take the time off in a specific department. These all these rules are going to be part of our complete plan. So definitely this feature is also on our roadmap. It's something that we're planning for ideally next year, and it's already been discussed. And we have an idea of how we're going to approach it, because generally it seems that most people agree on how it should work with the different companies. So that seems to be a little bit of a simpler feature to go through.
Awesome. Next question by Lena. She says, we've recently rolled out Vacation Tracker to our IT team, and we got a couple of questions regarding whether you're thinking about integrating with ADP.
Yeah, we definitely are. We would love to integrate with ADP. Ideally, what we really want is the ability to be able to integrate with various payroll systems across the board, and we're trying to right now, this is something that's also being discussed. We're trying to figure out how to integrate with multiple payroll systems in the same way, and that's, as you guys probably can imagine, quite hard to figure out. ADP is definitely on the list. It's one of the most used for certain regions, but we also have other ones also that are quite, again, different countries, different payroll and HR systems. You want to be able to, of course, integrate with all of them. Some are a little bit higher on the list because they're used more. So definitely ADP is on our list. But again, we're right now trying to figure out which information we need to provide them. How can we do this in a simpler way? We're thinking about Zapier integrations, where Zapier connections. Sorry, we're thinking about everything. It's definitely in discussion. Definitely going to be more discussed in 2024.
Awesome. So Stephen says he figured out how to add leave. That's awesome.
Good.
That's great.
Thanks,
That's
Steven.
what we're here for. Perfect. Next question is by Celeste. She says, is it possible to add smaller increments for sick and vacation hourly options? Right now, the smallest increment is 1 hour. Can we have something that's less than an hour?
Yeah. So here's the thing. With vacation tracker, we're kind of trying to stay only in leave tracking. We don't want to go into time tracking in any way. It's not something that we plan to go into. Maybe integrate with a time tracking software, but not per se offer it ourselves. And the reason why I'm saying all of this is because as soon as we start offering smaller time intervals, people are going to ask for smaller time intervals, and then we get into minutes, and then we get into all these things, and it gets more complex. And the way we know this is because we introduced half day a couple of years ago, and then we said, okay, now that we introduced half day, people are going to ask for hourly, and that's what happened for the next year and a half. And now we introduced hourly, and now some people want minutes too, and we get it. We're really happy that everyone wants to use us and wants us to include these improvements, but for the time being, we don't have any plans on going anywhere lower with the minutes, because I think it's going to complicate the way our system works. We are talking about it. It's not that it's something that we've completely written off, but we have to figure out how we would go about that, especially because of decimal points inside of the leave quotas for companies that don't that are focusing more on decimal points and daily quotas inside of their reports. So there's a lot of pieces there that unfortunately can be quite complex when it comes down to this request. Um, we'll be talking more about it, and if we decide to go into it, we'll definitely let everyone know.
Perfect. Lena says, disregard the out of office question. I drank some coffee and that helped. I feel you. We've all been there. It's been a long day. It's a hump day. Ryan says, I'll follow up with you tomorrow. So it is the same Ryan. Also good to
See
know.
you then.
Anna says, is it correct that the out of office only works for leaves, not for scheduled holidays?
Yes, that is true. So the out of office is only going to work for your leaves. It's not going to work for any holidays. This isn't something that we have planned so far. Um, but we can definitely provide this as feedback for an improvement for the future. That's actually great feedback. For now, it's just your leaves that are gonna receive this message, but this completely makes sense. So we'll definitely provide this feedback to our team as well. And again, if you want to provide any additional feedback as well, survey or email us or chat, whatever you'd like, for any of these features that we've talked about today.
Next is Jennifer. She says, will y'all be implementing the 12-hour clock, not military time for requests, and also a 1 hour increment for requests?
So Jennifer, this same answer as before for the 24 versus AM PM. Um, Definitely on our roadmap. Ideally next year, maybe this year. I cannot. I'm not. I don't think it's realistic for this year, but most likely next year. It's been in discussion, and we understand the need for it. So we want to introduce that as an improvement. As for the less than 1 hour increment, I hope you heard my response earlier. It's a very complex thing to go into minutes now within Vacation Tracker. Um, we may go into it, but we have to figure out how we're actually going to do this. Um, and we'll keep you guys updated. For now, it's a no for any increments less than 1 hour.
Next is Shar. He says, I'm not sure, says, will we be able to request leaves for 30-minute increments? That is 1 hour, 30 minutes for PTO.
Same answer. When it comes down to the, yeah, minutes generally right now in VT are just something, again, we're discussing, but it's questionable if we're gonna be going into that. We have to figure out. I know that it seems really simple, but you can imagine how much complications one feature sometimes can cause. So, same thing. We understand the need for it for sure, um, but again, still being discussed. Maybe in the future.
Perfect. Next is Lena. She says, are you planning to roll out department teams within departments category?
We haven't planned to create more breakdowns within the departments. If this is something you're interested in, just send us an email, Lena, please, to hello@vacationtracker.io, or send us a message through chat, and just let us know how this would work for your guys' case specifically, so we can understand a little bit better of what you need. I think I kind of understand what you guys need and why you need it, but it would be good if we can have a straight example from your guys' company, and we can discuss it internally. We haven't had any plans for something like this into breaking down departments more, but I don't think it's a bad discussion point at all. I think it makes sense. So definitely send us an email or send us a chat about the details, and we'll discuss it with our team.
Next up is Jennifer with the all too popular question, less than 1 hour
Yeah.
increments for requests. Same answer for you, Jennifer. We're discussing it internally, but we're not, it's a very complex feature, so we're not rolling it out
Yeah.
anytime soon, unfortunately. So next one again is Jennifer. She says, option to see actual hours away on the calendar for leaves that are less than full day.
Understandable. Okay. We'll definitely provide that as the feedback. Yeah, I understand that. Now, Jennifer, the only follow-up question I would have for you there, if you're still on the call, you could just write maybe an additional message here in the QA. If not, just if not, then you'll probably see the recording and then just send us hopefully a message outside of the webinar.
I
I
think
would I would
for context sounds, sorry, Kat, this might help you with your answer. She says option for out of office for requests. Currently, the options are busy and free. I think that is part of the question she was asking. I'm not sure.
I think those are two are separate. From my understanding, the first piece was regarding just seeing the hours inside the calendar. My question would basically be: are you referring to the vacation tracker calendar that you see in the dashboard, or are you referring to the calendar that you're syncing to? Also, if you're syncing, are we referring to the calendar sync that's on the calendar page, which is just the shared calendar, or are you referring to the personal calendar? So those would be my follow-up questions, just so I have a little bit more of an understanding. Or is it all together? Do you have are you wondering about all of the calendar views? Um, so that's my question for that one. As for option for out of office for requests, currently the options are busy and free. So the out of office, I do wanna clarify one thing. Um, and I'm happy that we're talking about this. So, regarding the out of office, um, the out of office reply itself is not tied per se to the personal calendar. These are two completely independent features. And the busy and free option that I believe Jennifer is referring to here is that if you go onto the leave types now, you're actually seeing this new option under leave type settings that says, do you want to show this leave type as busy or free? What this refers to is if you've connected your personal calendar with Vacation Tracker, and if your leave is approved with through Vacation Tracker, we're going to automatically book this time off in your personal calendar. And so if someone reaches out to you, they'll be able to see that you're busy or that you're free, depending on the two options. Depends on what the admin has set. The reason why we set these two options for now is because for any type of PTO or sick leave, we're expecting you to probably mark busy, but maybe you're going to have a leave type called working remotely, which a lot of companies have, and then it's going to be marked as free. So these are the two options we're offering so far because these are the most common options inside of both Gmail and Outlook. Um, we may offer more in the future, but for now, these are the two options. If you'd like any other options additional to these two, definitely let us know and give us a reason as to why as well.
Perfect. Jennifer says, yes, I sent that question way earlier, but it was delayed, I suppose. Sorry. And then, oh yeah, she also has a follow up to the previous question that we just answered. She says actual hours on calendar, the VT calendar. So
Okay.
the VT tracker one.
So I understand the feedback. Let me see, we're gonna see with the team if this is something that we can do. It makes sense. I understand why the view would be there. I'd have to see how we would actually show that view inside of the calendar itself, but um this feedback completely makes sense. So I'll definitely see with the team. Um so we'll take a look into that more, but that understood.
And as for the second question you just answered, Kat, she says, we would like to show it as out, not busy or free. Busy implies we're still in the office. We would love an option for out. So that's her
Okay,
question on that.
understood. I believe that we're currently pulling the statuses. It's a little bit difficult for me to say this because I can't be 100% sure. So I believe the current statuses that we're pulling are through the connections that we have with Google and Outlook. And I'm not sure if we can have an option out or if we can just somehow maybe now I'm just thinking outside of the box, but maybe we can show, busy and free, and then we can give you an additional setting option or something that says how do you want to rename this or something like that. I have no idea if this is something we can do. I may be just randomly talking, and my development team will will punish me for this. Maybe this is something we can do. I have to see with the team because I believe that there was a discussion as to why we have to why we actually have to go along with the rules that also Gmail and Outlook allow. And I believe that there was a little bit of an issue of which statuses they will actually allow and recognize as the names. So we'll check it out. We'll let you know, and we'll send you a response back. Just do me a favor, Jennifer. Send us a follow up email for the out. Send us an email or a chat so we can get back to you and just see with the team if this is something that we can do in the future, or maybe if we're blocked for the time being, just so we can give you one of those answers at least.
Awesome. I think that concludes all of the questions we have. Lena just says that thank you for the detailed answer and that she would send us an email on the needed functionality. So that's always great to see. But yeah, that concludes all the questions we have for today.
All right, wonderful. Thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you guys for joining. This means a lot to us. We hope that these calls mean a lot to you guys too. But again, we're gonna have another one of these calls on September 13th if anyone wants to rejoin. But again, thank you guys so much for joining the call. We always enjoy talking to you guys, and especially with showing you all of this information and getting feedback from you guys and getting the questions. A lot of this all of this means a lot to us because we get to develop the system the way that would fit your guys' needs. And that's really the whole goal in Vacation Tracker. So, again, thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed the call. We'll give maybe one more minute of just towards the end of the call. Sometimes people would like to fill out the polls or maybe go through the surveys. So we're just going to give it another minute, and then we're done.
Thank you as always. It's always lovely chatting to you guys.
Thank you
And yeah, if
guys.
you have any questions, reach out to us. If not, we'll see you at the next one.